Hey everyone, DarkDragoon here with episode 11 of my FTB Modpack Let's Play. You guys can see I'm underground somewhere as we're getting started today, but more importantly, I have a new skin. And not just any skin, this one was put together for me by a good friend of mine, Cherrybarkandhenna. She's an amazing artist, and I very much appreciate her taking the time to do this simple piece for me. So in return, I wanted to give her a shout out, and if you guys would please check out her DeviantArt, the link is down in the description. She does sell her art when she can and will take commissions, so check out her stuff and drop her a message if you're interested in something. So, that said, why don't we pop back into our first person view here and I'll show you guys sort of what I've been working on. Turn my HUD back on. You might be able to see from the mini-map that I'm somewhere underneath our peat bog, and I went ahead and made a second one because we definitely could use the extra peat. But yeah, so basically I've been working on moving all that automation that you saw around my peat bog downstairs so that it might be able to accommodate both farms. We're going to sort of play around with that and figure out sort of if it'll work. We got most of it sort of moved down here, as you can see, but we obviously need quite a bit more piping now, and I'll probably throw in a couple gold pipes to keep this stuff moving along. But yeah, needless to say, we're pretty much moving forward with our farming stuff, and more importantly, the whole reason why I wanted to dig down here and sort of start messing around down here is I want to be able to get basically move the products that my farms produce into my base so that I can more easily get it up into my steam boiler. Obviously this having to do with the peat bogs in particular, but as we get more of our farms going, things like tree farms and that, it would also help to be able to have a way to get all that stuff back to the base. So I'm thinking Railcraft. Yeah, because rails are cool and it's not too difficult to put together, but I think it'll be cool. So yeah, that is I think what we're going to be working on today. So yeah, why don't we go ahead and head back. I'm going to head back into the factory, grab some stuff, and we'll get this thing started. So I'll be back. Alright, so we're back and we've pretty much put together couple more pipes for ourselves. We're gonna definitely need them, and I've moved a bunch of our stuff from in here, from upstairs down here, including this chest. So yeah, let me go ahead and getting some pipes put in. I obviously made quite a few because I knew I would need them. I'll probably end up replacing some of these, like I said, with some golden pipes because those are always useful. But for now, I just sort of want to get the basics of this laid out. Let's see here. Trying to make sure that Now, I'm not really sure if the peat will come out the bottom of these. I guess we can find out here in a very shortly. I mean, our alternative is always we can just move it down and have it pipe down a different path. Yeah, we'll probably do that and just have it come down from sort of the side and down here as opposed to messing with that. That way we can see from upstairs that things are still moving along. So yeah, okay. So we've got our system set up here. It should be able to deliver our bog earth back here, and the whole reason why this sort of crazy mess is here is because we couldn't quite get it as compact and nice and neat as it was upstairs. Now that it's sort of a bigger system. Let's see here. Let's see if I can click on the diamond pipe here. Okay, so we basically want the dirt to go down the black path, and then we want bog earth to go the other ways. Now, I'm pretty sure if I don't set this another way, it should evenly distribute them. I hope so. Hopefully, if we had additional pipes on, I'd probably be using a distribution pipe here instead, but that's okay. We'll have to deal with it. So yeah, so this should work. Why don't we might be able to test this. Got a little bit of peat in there, and we got our water in here. Now I moved my aqueous accumulator underneath my bottler and put water on both sides of it, because if you do this, it'll generate water faster for you. And so, whereas before it was sort of running kind of slow, this should basically now run at the speed, basically at the speed of the engine, as opposed to having to wait for water. So, and you can see we're still trying to pump the finished bottles out. You can see there we go. So if we flip this switch, that should start that engine, and it should pull out our bog earth. Cool. We'll just turn that off now, mostly because I want to go ahead and connect up golden pipes, and obviously if I have stuff running through the pipes, that's going to be hard. So yeah, the cool thing about golden pipes, those have changed, whereas before you used to have to put a redstone signal on them to make them speed things up. Now redstone signal applied to it will turn off the speeding up effect, so it's pretty cool. Now, let's see here. Let's turn it back on and make sure the golden pipe is working properly. Should see it zoom out. Yep, and there it goes. We got one went that way, one went that way. Where's this one going to go? One's going to go that way. Okay, yeah, it does look like it is evenly distributing the bog earth, which is exactly what we wanted it to do. Now, cool. So that's working. That is completely and utterly working. Cool. I knew it would. There wasn't ever a moment of doubt that I had. Needless to say, whoop, you can see obviously since it can't do anything there and it's next to a redstone signal, it's not working. So cool. So that's set up. Let's set up the other half of this where we'll pipe our finished product down into a chest downstairs. Now, we obviously won't need to have this here anymore, but let me think about how I want to do this. Okay, give me a second. I'll be back once I've figured out exactly what I want to do, where I want this peat to go. Alright, we're back, and so yeah, I went back into the factory and grabbed a couple of our diamond pipes we made earlier. And you guys can see I basically set it up so that only peat can go through the white slot, which is where that's coming from. So we won't get any bog earth trying to go up into the turbary. And then only bog earth and dirt can travel through the green. So this way peat won't come down and try to go into our peat bog. It'll go down the open path. And over here we set up basically another line off our diamond pipe here to have peat go down the blue path and into this chest. And obviously we're going to set up the exact same thing over here. Let's see here. Now we used cobblestone transport pipes to come off of the turbary so that they wouldn't connect to the regular stone pipes. Don't really need to be jumping there. And we'll set up, like I said, same thing over here. We had peat going down white, and now yellow needs to be bog earth and dirt. That way the dirt coming out of the peat bog can go down the yellow, then it will go down green, and then it will go down black, which will send it back into this chest here. So cool. The only other thing we really have to set up here are maybe some golden transport pipes to move the stuff along quicker. We can go ahead and put one, say, here. That'll move the peat and the dirt back through the line much faster. So yeah, so we should only get peat in here, and should only get dirt back here, and the bog earth should all go properly in there. Now unfortunately we still have the issue where if it tries to put the peat into the peat bog and that top left slot is full, it'll sort of pop out. Unfortunately we don't have insertion pipes to fix that problem for us yet. Hopefully that's additional pipes will be something that will be added sometime down the line. But yeah, needless to say, at the moment we pretty much have a system that is working. It's obviously much more complex than we had upstairs, but it's cool. And what we're going to do is we're going to brave the outside even though it's night, and probably get blown up by creepers. It looks like just spiders out here at the moment. I will kill spiders any day of the week. Little buggers. Okay. And we can go ahead and knock this stuff off and steal our peat from here. Cool. We just have to double check on some of these things here, make sure everything's running properly. Might as well. Obviously we don't have too much bog earth being made at the moment, but we'll fix that. So we should not have to worry about the dirt anymore getting clogged up in that in our new peat bog. All of this should be working properly. Whoa, zombies. Good lord, monsters just spawning in pairs out here? Okay, so we're gonna... You guys can also see I made another one of these factorization barrels for dirt, because we were getting quite a bit of that. I haven't made one for anything else yet. Don't feel like we necessarily need it quite yet. See, our steam boiler's been pretty much hovering. I've been trying to sort of keep a stack in it. It's been hovering around 500 degrees, which that's okay. It'll cool down a couple degrees, and then we'll heat it up a couple degrees, and it'll be fine. The other thing I did, as you guys can see, I moved my rolling machine upstairs and hooked it up to our system. So now we can, we don't have to worry about that Stirling engine downstairs and trying to keep putting coal into it, which is cool. Our basic goal is to try to use as little coal as possible. There's a skeleton in my basement. I'm not sure why that hole is in the ceiling. I have to remember to fix that here soon. So we haven't been needing to make any of this stuff in a while, so I pretty much made myself a good supply of gold and iron gates. That way in the future we can do some more stuff with those. It might even be worthwhile looking into setting up some automation on our system that we're working on underneath the farms. But yeah, so pretty much where we're going next is into some Railcraft stuff. Now, later on, we could probably do some cool stuff with Steve's carts and connecting basically trains together, but since we really only have the one material we're trying to move, we're pretty much set to just start simple, basically. So, first thing I want to do is I want to start looking into making some tracks. Now, the tracks with these are obviously Railcraft tracks. There's lots of them, and they're really cool. But the ones we're realistically going to be looking for are regular tracks, which are pretty simple. Finally, we're going to be able to start using our creosote oil back there. And you know, we might want to think about setting up an automatic system to make our wooden rail ties that we need creosote oil for. Yeah, that's something I should probably think about a minute. Give me a minute, I'll be back, and we'll figure out exactly what we want to do with this. Alright, so we're back, and I'm pretty much just getting some things set up here. Obviously, you guys can see our creosote tank is up here, and you can see I set up a valve on the side here, so we're basically just going to pipe creosote out of the side of the tank and into our building here. And grab our cobble, or not our cobble, but our smooth stones. We can fill in as we go here. See, we're pretty much just coming into our basement. Probably going to need a few more pipes in this. We might just have enough. We do. Cool. So yeah, there you guys can see I've got the pipe coming up there. And let's go ahead and fix our floor here. There we go. Now, we should be able to make ourselves another carpenter like we did before where we filled it with water. This time we're going to let it basically be filled with creosote oil, and that will pretty much be that. Now, that's a thought too. I could move it over closer to here. Obviously that's going to take more piping, but that way we can just hook it up right to our Buildcraft net and it'll be able to get power there. Yeah, let me make some more pipes off screen, and we'll actually we'll go ahead and just make the carpenter now. And then let's make ourselves a good amount of this bronze. We have a little bit, but we're gonna need more, I think. I'll give myself more tin than I really needed. Now let's do this in the crafting table. That should be plenty. So if you guys remember how to make the crafting table, or not the crafting table, the carpenter, we're gonna need sturdy casing, and I believe it is bronze along the sides with glass along the bottom. Yes, carpenter. Cool. So let's grab our axe so that we can dig through floorboards here. Okay. Now here's going to be the tricky part. Hooking this all up properly is going to be a fun little trick. I think what we'll do is we'll have this piping come up through here now. I don't think it is kind of a problem. Actually, I don't think it will be because our back slot is closed. So the creosote, even though it's connecting to there, shouldn't be going in there. Yeah. So let's stick our carpenter here and see if we can't find our energy conduits. Go ahead and hook it up to power. It should connect. I honestly have never tested to see if the forestry machines will attach to the Buildcraft net, but I honestly don't see why they wouldn't. So, there we go. Hopefully we have our wrench on us. We do. So we can adjust. That's not at all what we wanted to do. Obviously I was holding down shift and that was the problem. And that should connect. Yeah. Oop. That is also not what I wanted to do. There we go. Now that should, it's hard to see from this angle, but that should be connected. So let's, you guys can see I've still been using this diamond pick here instead of my drill, mostly because I'm trying to break it. Because I don't really have a need for a diamond pick, but the resources have already been used, so I might as well use them, right? So yeah, so this should now be connected to power. Should be able to work. Obviously we can't really test it until we've got ourselves some creosote moving through there. Now we'll try to find our, do we have any wooden pipes? Yes we do. Inventory is a little full at the moment. Might as well take that as well, since we're going to need to seriously consider making room in our inventory. Like I said, we are badly full. Okay, so we got our wooden pipe. Gonna definitely need more of these golden pipes, but I can set those up afterward once we have this whole system set to go. I'm also gonna need a redstone engine. Let's see here. We have the cobble on us. We're gonna need more wood. Never hurts to have more wood. And we're gonna need our iron and our redstone. Toss that in there. Obviously, again, my inventory looks horrific, as it is wont to do. I think we have everything we need there, so let's put together a piston. Okay. Throw that there. And we're going to need some sticks. Because we're going to need 2 of those. Should have everything else we need. Okay, cool. And we'll go ahead outside. And hook up our wooden pipe. And like I said, we should just be able to, it won't be the prettiest thing in the world, but it will do what we need it to. I'm not entirely sure how we want to, actually let's do it this way. That way we can do something like this. It's starting to become night, but that should, there we go. That should start pumping. Now we just need to make sure it has somewhere to go. So let me make a couple of these pipes off camera and we'll be back. Alright, we're back. We got ourselves a couple more of these golden waterproof pipes. And there we go. Now that should flow right up into the carpenter. Obviously, as this keeps flowing, this pipe should fill. And we can tidy this up as we desire later, but right now I just sort of want to get it functioning, and then we can make it look nice once it's functional. Now let's make sure, okay, like I said, I'm pretty sure it should not be going into that side, even though it looks like it's trying to, but it is going into our carpenter. Excellent. So, let's see here. Really should probably clean up our inventory. Let me do that real quick and then we'll move into the other stuff we need to do. Okay, we cleaned up our inventory quite a bit, you can see. But I want to show you guys real quick how to make these wooden ties. Now, you could do this just with individual buckets, but it's much more fun to do it in the carpenter. So yeah, you can see it'll start draining power. I think it's draining power. It is. And it's making our wooden ties. Cool. So now we can pretty much just keep this supplied with wooden slabs, and it'll keep making wooden ties for us because it'll keep getting creosote oil from outside. So I'm just going to make quite a bit of these because we're going to need a fair amount of wooden ties. Much more than that, obviously. But yeah. So basically the goal here is that we're going to be making wooden ties here, and we're going to be making rails using our rolling machine. So let's take a look at what we need other than the wooden ties for our tracks. So the basic kind of track, here's the recipe. You can see it requires 6 standard rails and a wooden rail bed. So the standard rails, pretty simple to make in rolling machines, just iron, or you can get a little bit less standard rails if you use bronze, or you can get more if you use some of these things, which is kind of cool. It's nice that it gives you multiple options. I'm just going to use iron for now, but yeah, using refined iron would actually be a really good idea. I'm not going to need too many of these probably. No more than, I'd say, half a stack or so. Shouldn't be too big a deal. I mean, we do have a little bit of distance to cover, but it's not a ton of distance. So, we do have some wooden ties done, so those are pretty simple to turn into. And these are all things we could automate, but yeah, put them 2 by 2 and you get your wooden rail beds. And each one of those gives us 16 tracks. So I mean, that's 32 pieces of track. If that's not enough, well, we can always make more later. So the other thing we're going to need is we're probably going to need a booster track. Probably a single stack of those will probably be enough. And those are just standard rails with some gold and some redstone. So we only have 4 standard rails, so let's go ahead and... It doesn't hurt to have a couple of these going. So you're always gonna have use for those standard rails. So I don't mind making a few extra. And I do have the redstone on me, that's good. Got some more of these wooden ties. Still probably gonna need more of those. Yeah. Yeah, we got enough. Let's do that many. And we'll just throw those in there. Obviously these are all things that later on we can automate, but for now we don't really need to. So we're going to make ourselves some of these advanced rails. We're going to need quite a few of these for various different rails, so we might as well go ahead and make those. Like I said, so we're working on booster tracks. That's pretty simple. And the other thing we're probably going to need are holding tracks, which Again, pretty simple, but need these advanced rails, and we get 8. So luckily with Railcraft, you get quite a bit for your input. We might even need... Why not? We might as well make them. Okay, so here's the booster track. Is just going to be some advanced rails, some redstone in the middle. There we go, booster tracks. Probably not going to need more than 8 of those for now. We're probably going to be fine with those. And then these, of course, we're going to need some stone pressure plate right there. And I think we might have the stuff for this now. We just need our rail. There we go. Our rail bed. I believe this was on top. Yes. Holding track. Cool. So, I don't think we're going to quite probably have enough time to actually get this down, but I can at least show you guys. If I recall, there's also something called an item loader. And there should be an item unloader as well. And so basically these are what we're going to use to move our peat from way over there back to here, and then we'll unload it into a chest so that we can move it directly into this system. So it'll be cool once it's set up. So why don't I go ahead and make those, and probably what we'll do, that way we can start next episode just going ahead and laying all this stuff down, and hopefully it'll be cool and we'll be able to move on to some other stuff. So let's take a look here. Item loader. Should just need a regular, we shouldn't need an advanced. So first of all, we're going to definitely need, since we need a loader and an unloader, we're going to need ultimately I think 2 dispensers. Yeah, so basically the recipe for the 2 is essentially the same thing except flipped. So we're going to need 2 each of these. We're going to need 2 item detectors, 2 dispensers. So the item detector looked pretty easy. We're going to need 2 of those, so which means we're going to need 2 of those. Let's go ahead and make those. Looks like we need a little bit more wood. That's okay. We are right here. Just grab 13 of those, and that should be enough. I believe it was simply that. It was basically a chest with a pressure plate in the middle. Item detectors, 2 of those. And then we're going to need 2 dispensers, which is going to take a couple bows, which again should be pretty easy to make. Cool. We're finally going to be able to use some of our copious amounts of spider silk. What we've got up here, the string. I don't know why I just called it silk. It's what it is, but it's not what it's called in game. So there's 2 bows. Obviously these will not stack. And after the bows, we're just going to basically set up our dispensers. Those are easy enough. We're not going to have quite enough cobble, so we're going to have to run downstairs and grab a stack of that. Cool. So here we go. 7, a bow, and a redstone will give us a dispenser. And we need 1 more of those. There we go. So, item loader is dispenser on top. Item unloader is going to be dispenser on bottom. So yeah, so basically the way this system is going to work is we're going to, I'm not sure exactly where we're going to want to set this up. Probably, it's probably actually going to have to, we might actually need more tracks than I made, because I'm probably going to want to set it up so that it stops somewhere back here near where our steam boiler is, so that we can sort of easily set up a system to feed it with peat. But just so you guys can see sort of what I'm thinking, obviously we're going to need the unloader to be here, and we're going to put our item track, or our holding track rather, on top of it. Basically, this is the way that all of these work. And then we're going to set up our tracks running like so. So basically, once we get our cart made, it should be able to run along here, stop here, unload all of its items, and then we'll be able to have... Didn't mean to throw that down there. Should be able to look at our item unloader. I'll get more into detail with this next episode, but basically the idea will be that the cart will drop stuff off into this unloader, and then we'll be able to move it from here via probably some kind of piping system upstairs next to our boiler, where we'll be able to feed the boiler. So yeah, so that's going to be the basic gist of our system, and unfortunately I think we're going to have to get into more of that next episode, but you guys can hopefully see sort of where I'm going with this and what I'm thinking. This might actually be exactly where we want this to go. I'm kind of curious. You know what, we'll go ahead and dig this through just to see where we come out under our system here, under our peat bogs. Obviously it's dark. Sorry about the darkness. Let's just use our drill, because that'll get through this dirt a lot faster. Yeah, that is almost perfect. In fact, what I think I'll do is this shouldn't be a problem. I should just be able to move this right over one. Or rather, I actually think this is exactly where we want this to be. That is kind of convenient. I honestly did not plan that, but let's see. Yeah, so we put our holding track there. Yeah. You know what? Let's just go ahead and run the track. I know I keep saying we're going to end the episode here, but yeah, we're going to need more. Which means we are going to have to end the episode here, but needless to say, this will also have to be up one block, I believe, just like we've got it over there. But yeah, needless to say, this is going to be cool when it's done, and I cannot believe how perfect this was. The funny thing is, I don't even think we're really going to need the chest. I think we can just run the peat directly into our loader here, because it's going to basically have an internal buffer that it can store stuff in, and then the cart will run back and forth. Yeah, that's going to work perfectly for us. So yeah, so this is where we're going to have to call this episode. Hopefully I'll be able to finish this up at the beginning of next episode, and we'll be able to move into something else cool. I know I said last time we were going to get into factorization, so maybe we'll start setting up a little bit of that. Yeah, that could be cool. But that'll have to wait until then. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed episode 11 of DarkDragoon's Feed the Beast Modpack Let's Play. I hope to see you guys next time. Catch you later.